Welcome to another episode of AI Product Leader. Every week we shine the light on what it really takes to join the AI world. Real conversations with AI builders, founders, product leaders, experts, technologists, and everything in between to understand where the world of AI is right now and what that path looks like, whether you're building AI products or an AI career. Have a question or a topic? Email us at support@AI Career Boost to join in on the conversation. I'm your host, Polly Allen. I'm the founder of AI Career Boost, where I spend my time helping product leaders navigate the world of AI and thrive in AI leadership roles. I've spent my career in both the software development and product management sides of the software development world, and I'm an ex-Alexa AI principal product manager, where I successfully led the very first generative AI answers on Alexa back in 2020. And I'm super excited to introduce our guest today. Adam, thanks so much for joining us. How are you doing?
Hi there. I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm thrilled to welcome Adam Schweig, whose career has spanned some of the world's best known brands, including NBC, Macy's, Bareminerals, and Estee Lauder. So Adam has over a decade of experience transforming the beauty and e-commerce industries. At Estee Lauder, he led projects that modernized systems, enhanced customer service journeys, and drove $36 million in revenue. That is nuts. And at Bare Minerals, Adam was an accessibility champion. So he achieved 90% compliance rating and improved inclusivity of their platform. Now he's eager to explore how AI can revolutionize personalization and accessibility in the industries he knows best. I hope I got that right, Adam. Does that sound like you?
It does. Thank you.
Perfect. So I'd love to kick us off knowing a little bit more about your journey. It's a fascinating journey working as a product manager in beauty. Can you tell us a little bit how you got into product management and your career before your interest in AI?
Oh, sure. So basically, I was working in startups after I graduated school and just kind of was exploring, not really sure what I was wanting to do at that point. At one point, I went to a headhunter. He told me to go learn Agile. So yeah, I just kind of he really was like, go learn Agile. So I took a course at General Assembly, and before I knew it, I was starting a Victoria's Secret and moving forward and just doing project management and doing digital production. So after I got my PMP certification, I went ahead, got my role at Estee Lauder, and they cultivated me going from project management to product management. I started by just doing by project managing a redesign of a website, and then learning the ins and outs of their offer manager tool, moving into more product work. As they continued moving me around the organization, I ended up leading an agile team of 10 engineers to do product feature work for the next 2.5 years at the end of my tenure there before getting laid off.
Gotcha. Is I'm fascinated to learn how a beauty brand might be different from, like, you were still with digital production. Do you feel like it was a lot different from like some places that are doing just more, I don't know, just more techie, broy, less beauty oriented stuff? Like, did you find it very different there, do you think, from some other places in the industry?
I think because every different product has its requirements, this requirements are going to be different. You have to know all the ingredients. You have to know what it's made with, if it's made with pellets or parabens, because a lot of different, or whether or not it's tested on animals. A lot of these different idiosyncrasies are um, what people want to know about beauty products, and they don't want to be in the products, for example.
Right. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. So that attention to detail and to like the customer's needs, like this, the specific information in that space must be vast, I'm sure. And it's health related too, right?
Exactly. And then also because of, I mean, a lot of e-commerce sites have t-shirts or like whatever else, that different types of apparel. But just like with beauty, there needs to be different sizes, different ingredients, and different attentions paid to different aspects of the product.
Yeah. Did you kind of stumble into beauty or did you have like an interest in that space already?
I stumbled into it completely. Yeah, I never really had a total interest in beauty, but I kind of fell into it. I did one of my first roles before I learned Agile was I launched a skincare line into Sephora called State of Dermatology Group. This was back in 2010, 2011. Um, we worked hard in launching that, and then that startup ended up failing. But going from there, having that background, that kind of propelled me into the space because I already had the background and kind of went from there.
Gotcha. Now, and now is it a case of like, oh God, I know way too much about beauty products that I never thought. Little young Adam had never thought you would know this much about interactions and allergies and things like that.
I actually love it though. Beauty is a great space to be in.
Yeah, yeah, totally. It's kind of cool to see that confluence of like physical goods with the digital brand presence, and then all the innovation that's happening. Speaking of innovation, like let's get into a little bit about AI. You've been exploring the AI space. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your explorations of beauty and how AI might be used in that space?
Sure. After I left Estée Lauder back in May, um, I was not aware about this current job market. However, I learned very quickly what the current job market entailed, that it wasn't very good, and especially in the tech realm, the tech rules are drying up quite a bit. Um, I hired a mentor who introduced me to ChatGPT. I had never used it before, never really knew much about it, never really knew much about AI altogether. And the first thing he did, it was like, okay, you need to, he introduced me to a program called Beautiful.ai, which allowed me to create pitch decks. However, I was still kind of unsure how to really sell myself. So creating pitch decks was very difficult. It didn't really turn out the way I would have liked. But the other advice that he shared with me was to run my resume bullet points through ChatGPT and help it refine, help it tweak, and just make it stronger, make it more impactful. Um, well, after learning what it could do, all I wanted to do was learn more about it, and I wanted to explore further. So I was taking more webinars. I was learning more about AI through different webinars I found online. And one of the ones I came across was yours, in fact, the masterclass for the, I don't remember what it was called.
It was Path to AI Product Leader. That's
The path to AI product leader. And you just seem it, at the time when I first was exploring it, I really liked how knowledgeable you were, your background with Alexa and everything that the entire podcast, sorry, the entire masterclass, the 1 hour that I learned from, I learned so much in that 1 hour where I was just kind of blown away.
oh, awesome. I didn't know that. You haven't told me that before.
That's actually
Now
what
I'm like,
drew me
oh,
to continue learning about what you're offering in the larger course, which is what drove me to learn even more. And if you remember, one of the things I did share with you is when I first signed up for the course, there was some pre-work that was involved. There was I want to say, a 5 hour.
oh yes. I was clear you don't have to watch all of Making Friends with Machine Learning by Cassie Korsakoff. I was very clear you
Oh
don't have
my
to watch
God,
all of it.
Cassie was fantastic though. I listened to the first hour and a half, or maybe it was an hour, whatever it was. I even shared it with my family, my parents, and just to give them an idea, just like, okay, this is the start of this course. Like, I don't, there's just so much knowledge here that I'm just kind of blown away by it. But that was just the beginning, and I know we've come so far from there. So going from not knowing anything about ChatGPT, learning about how to refine and put my bullet points to it to make my resume stronger, and then moving into taking webinars such as yours and whatnot, and then moving into the coursework. I've learned so much since then, and I just want to, like, my goal now is just to keep learning and growing, and
Yeah.
that's
Well, luckily it's moving fast enough to keep ahead of you, barely. You know, the field is the field is going fast. But as you're voraciously consuming content, I was really excited to see like how did you feel about the first time you built something? You built your own product as opposed to like using a product.
at the beginning it was very overwhelming. In fact, the coursework itself was a bit overwhelming because it moved very quickly the first 4 weeks or so. Um, but as I started to build it myself, and as I started to get more comfortable with the material and more comfortable with the programs and the tools, it became fun to try to make it work the way I wanted to refine it and make it more presentable, to change the display, to change the way to train the model. In fact, and I know we spoke about this prior, but one of the things I took upon myself was I actually tried to use Python to train the model myself and to see if I could make it work using retrieval augmented generation, RAG. Um, to run it on my own versus using ChatGPT or another type of assistant. I know at the end of the day, we ended up using a different assistant to make it work, to make the RAG work the way it needed to, and to have it reference the RAG uploaded document without the code that I used. But it was helpful to learn how it works. And I know that's going to help me in my career going forward, just to have that knowledge.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, tell us, you have one of the capstone demos I love to show people as an exemplar, not only of how it works, but just the underlying mission of inclusivity is so important. Can you tell us a little bit about Beauty GPT?
Oh, absolutely. So, considering that I have a beauty background, even though it wasn't my intentional plan, it is now my background as I stumbled upon it. And like I said, I do love being in the space. So, considering that I've been working in beauty for the last 8, 9 years, plus the product I launched into Sephora back 12 years ago, 13 years ago, um, I felt this would be a great foray into my AI project, my capstone project. Um, I love the ability to make it personalized. That someone could the ultimate goal with Beauty GPT was to make it so you could actually send your a picture of your skin into the program, and it would spit out recommendations for you, whether it be products or a regimen or something else based on your age, based on your ethnicity, based on your current skin type of skin or skin diseases that you might have. It would be able to share that with you. Now, um, due to the amount of time I had to prepare BGPT, that I wasn't able to meet that goal with this project, but that is the end goal for it. At the same time, I wanted to also make it inclusive for people who have disabilities, so make it accessible. My goal with BGPT is that I wanted to essentially make it accessible and inclusive for everyone. So whether it was readable by a screen reader or whatever other disabilities that people may have, that they're able to use it as well and get the beauty recommendations that they want that are personalized to them.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, and it's something I do every once in a while. I'm like, what does Beauty GPT say? Did you have any? You had no technical background before this in terms of using Python and stuff, and yet you were still
No
in there.
Python at all.
Yeah, yeah. So you were not a programmer or anything. I think that's something that too many people think that like to be in this space and understand how it works. It's like step one, learn to program. That's so not true.
Not at all. I mean, I have a little bit of background when it comes just being in project management and product management, recognizing code and be able to look at it and go, okay, I see what that's doing. I see what that's doing. My hand's not even on the screen, but I see what that's doing and I see what that's doing. Um, but at the end of like, I can't write the code. I can only kind of gather an idea of what I'm looking at just by kind of seeing where things are.
But that's not our role anymore, especially with AI being able to write for us for a lot of it, right? That understanding. Yeah, totally. Amazing. Well, it's such an amazing transition over such a short time. So, do you have any advice for people who are in that situation where they feel maybe they know nothing, or maybe they've gotten as far as I use ChatGPT, I use these tools. How do they take the next step? Do you have any good advice for that?
I think the best advice I could give is number one, start small. Don't really stress on doing something huge right away. Maybe it's a webinar, maybe it's just taking a free class somewhere. Maybe it's looking at something. If you're in project management, look at the Scrum Alliance because they have tons of courses, whether it's paid or even free. That's actually one of the courses I started with called AI and Agility. It's a free course, it's about 2.5 hours.
Oh, fantastic. We'll
Um,
link to it. I'll get the link and we'll put it in the show notes. That'll be awesome.
Absolutely. But that was a fantastic course that introduced me to a lot of different programs that use AI. But also just start a small project. It doesn't have to be groundbreaking. Something like analyzing personal data, creating a chatbot, like kind of what I do with BGPT, but it could be smaller. I mean, it doesn't need to be as aggressive. And of course, just network, talk to people.
Network. Gotcha. So networking events, that kind of thing. You find that's a big help.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Really great advice. That's amazing, Adam. Awesome. Well, we have one more section to do, which is really just plugs at the end of the show. Did you have any plugs or calls to action? How do people get more of you? Basically, is what I'm asking. Who do you want to thank, and how do people get more of you?
Well, when it comes to AI, I definitely want to thank for one, you and the team at AI Career Boost. It's really been quite an amazing journey to learn so much from you guys, and I'm really excited to where it goes next. I also want to thank the mentor that I hired back in August. His name is Eric Crawford. He's the one that introduced me to ChatGPT and suggested that I create a pitch deck using beautiful AI and also running my bullet points through ChatGPT, which was really, really helpful and put my resume in a new place where interviews are actually starting to trickle in as we speak. Um, but then lastly, I please follow me on LinkedIn. I've been sharing quite a bit as far as being a thought leader in AI and product management, and I'm going to continue doing that. And please join the conversation.
Yeah, please do. I'm gonna plus one on that. Adam's what you've been writing on LinkedIn has just been super insightful. So you've definitely got a fervent follower in me. So
Oh, thank you.
keep going, keep going. Fantastic. Well, I've got a few plugs on my side. That same masterclass that Adam was mentioning has been updated for 2025. So we're going to be running it again January 21st, 12 to 1 p.m. It's free. It's a free masterclass where we're talking about how is product management changing. There's all this talk of AI product management is dead and AI is going to take it over. And I think we all agree that it's more about the evolution and how it's changing, but it's not just about using ChatGPT to write your PRDs, although that's important too, right? It's much more about rethinking how we deliver value in this role. So we'll be breaking that all down for you in that masterclass. And that, like I mentioned, January 21st, link in the show notes. Well, that's another episode of the AI Product Leader podcast. Adam, thanks again for joining us. Your story is really inspirational. It's been so great to have you on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Polly.